Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about spice, that magic little seasoning found on Arrakis amongst the sand.
The spice.
They want the spice. They're here for the spice.
The Spice Melange.
Welcome back to AsArt with Nick, John, and Kyle. Today we're going to talk about spice. This is to follow up our previous conversation with the voice, and we're talking about and explaining the voice and the Bene Gesserit cult and all that stuff. So, Kyle, spice is on Arrakis, which is Dune, and we know it's
Yes.
somehow spoilers. You know what? Before I go any farther, spoilers just in case if you haven't read the books, and if you only watched the first new movie from HBO Max this year, 2021. Gosh, I just want to make sure, but I don't know when you're going to watch this video, but we're going to be talking about spice. We may lead into some spoilers later on, but we're going to try keeping it spoiler free for the first half at least. So
Listen,
Kyle,
to all
do
you
wanna
future, to all your future generations out there, if it's the year 2160 or something, and you're just now watching this video, like over 100 years in the future, spoiler alert! In case you haven't seen the videos, or everyone thinks about like a few months. I think like, what if someone from like 200 years in the future just, watches this, right?
Yeah. Especially if
Yeah.
his name's Paul. Okay, so go for it,
On
Kyle.
topic,
Give
I
us
like
a
it.
basic understanding of spice, like from the movie.
Yeah, so spice is it's this substance that is a mind altering and psychoactive substance that people can take, and it can be used to hone different things about the human mind and the human body, right? Now, the other thing is that spice has a lot of different properties and components to it. One of them being that it can extend life, right? And it can also give you other abilities. So it's become the most valuable commodity to trade in the Empyrean, in human colonized space, right? So
Just to confirm, it's only found on Arrakis.
yes, there have been attempts to cultivate it elsewhere, and all have failed.
Is
So-
that book stuff? That's not in the movies, right? That's book stuff.
That's book stuff. Yeah,
That's
we're going.
book stuff. So that's why I'm happy I said spoilers.
Yeah, we're going beyond.
Beyond the first Dune book? Because I don't remember them mention that in Dune, but maybe I just missed that part.
Yeah, it's beyond it. Sorry.
and then spice, you guys can correct me. Spice is really used in space travel, right?
Yes, it is. So the Spacer Guild use it. They basically hotbox their environment to just inhale spice all the time.
Picture those guys just Fast Times at Ridgemont High in their
Fuck
van.
yeah,
Just, we're gonna travel through the
Fucking
stars.
spice, dude.
Yeah, and they actually are. Yeah. No, like so in the movie, actually, people say that we didn't get to see anyone from the Spacing Guild, but I beg to disagree. I beg to differ. The people with the orange kind of foggy helmets,
Yeah.
while they're not spacers themselves, they are a part of the Spacing Guild because they look like they're initiates or they're acolytes, right? They're not like 100% spacers that do all the space folding. Those guys they don't even look human anymore, right?
When did those guys with the orange helmets pop in?
So that's when they were visiting House Atreides on their home on Caladan. Yeah, yeah. But like, you have representatives of the Spacing Guild, the Bene Gesserit, that stuff.
It's when that paper was being signed, right? They're really relatively.
Yeah, the Herald.
With
Which, by the way,
wax.
the Herald was great. He has the timber of the. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Okay, so one other thing, spice is a big deal because it's really attached to our main character Paul in the movies, right?
Yes.
And we know he inhales spice
Mm-hmm.
in a tent, right? Was he in a tent when that happens? I can't
He was-
remember. I think
so
it
yeah, he
was
was-
some desert tent thing.
He did
that
it.
happened.
He did it twice. He did it first outside during the rescue of the
rescue.
sandcrawler,
Mhm.
and then the second time was in the tent. Yes,
But the tent, like, it activated something. He got like a good whiff of it.
he got a prescient vision. Yeah.
So, do you guys want to explain about like what happened when he got that hit?
Absolutely not. No. No. Okay. No, yeah. So basically, Paul
Or John, do you want to explain? Because you're
oh, yeah,
also
you know
a book reader too.
Yeah. John, take it.
And so it's going to affect everybody. You're going to have, like Kyle was saying, they'd have these, kind of tripping out type thing. But for him, it's like the Bene Gesserit, the chain and everything, right? It just kind of gives him some other awareness. And for the one that's going to be like the chosen one, essentially, it allows him to travel into other things where he can see the past and the future, potential futures. I still feel like he's more like Doctor Strange when it comes to the future. He's like, I see all these branching, potentials, but I can't sort through which one's going to be the one. And it makes it interesting.
It's his first taste of that of what will be his prescience, right?
But not knowing that's going to happen to him, right? So it's just like catching him off guard, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, and also there's a lot of subtext that's going on, at least in the book, as with this scene, right? Like, because remember, like, and also it's been hinted at in the movie that Paul realizes that he is essentially being used as a pawn by the Bene Gesserit, right? And he's also angry at his mother. Like that's why he reacts so emotionally and angrily at his mother, like get off of me, right? Because his mother, the Bene Gesserit part of her, did this to him, right? And he sort of blames her, right? And so like plus that with just the I forgot the word. Basically, the craziness of the vision has
the prophecy.
Yeah. Well, so that's the thing. It's only prophetic in that Paul still has the agency to take different paths, right? Now, of course, Paul is always working to not fulfill that prophecy, because if he fulfills that prophecy, billions upon billions of people will die. The crusade, well, in the book, the jihad, right, and in the movie, the crusade will just tear through space, and like just the flames of war will engulf everyone, right? So he wants to avoid that horrific reality at all cost.
So now we're going to go into spoiler territory with Spice and fun stuff and what you might see in the second movie. So Kyle, go for it. John, go for it. Just, you know what? The sky's the limit. The universe is the limit.
Yeah.
Go.
So basically the thing is, it's like, it's heroic, and you kind of get this sort of like savior sense from it. But in the end, let's remember that Paul fails. The jihad comes. And billions of people, like it happens.
Major spoilers.
Right? Yeah, and essentially, like beyond that, like in the next book in Dune Messiah, he's become this wandering like blind
buffoon?
Man in the desert.
Oh,
not a buffoon, but just like he's this guy that only speaks in prophecy because he's just fully given way to his prescient visions, and he's kind of become like this prophet, right? And like, you know, people. It's so funny because like in the book, it's like, is this prophet Paul? Like, it's like, is it him? And it's like, yeah, it's Paul. Come on. Like, so that's the thing, is that Paul essentially fails to stop what he did, because that's the thing, of all the possible futures, he also like gets the sense that it's like a cage, right? Because he is still being led to this overarching arc of this end point, right? That's going to happen, or like this one this one waypoint in the future that many of these roads seem to have a confluence at.
So let me ask you again. We're obviously into big spoiler territories beyond even the first Dune book, but
yeah, guys, let's unshackle it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I did say the universe
because the spice is the limit. That's right. But so he marries the emperor's daughter, right? Because she's kind of the scribe or whatever that's right in the beginning of each chapter. But he still ends up being some crazy guy in the desert, even though so he can never leave Dune again, right? So even though he's kind of in the Emperor's bloodline now, he still is never able to leave Arrakis. So
and that's the thing. So later on, Arrakis becomes the Imperial capital. It's no longer Kaitane, right?
Big spoilers.
Yeah,
this is all for Spice, people.
Yeah, this is after Paul usurps the throne, right? So
okay, so let's get back on track with Spice. Those are some amazing spoilers. Which, if you want us to cover more extreme spoilers, comment down below. But let's talk about what Spice is going to be used in the second movie. So we know there's going to be a big use for it for Lady Jessica, right?
Yes.
Do you guys want to explain the transformation that happens with Lady Jessica and the power of the spice?
We might not even see that, because that was before the end of book one. That was
if they don't show it,
Kyle's gonna write a letter.
I'm gonna write a very yes, Nick. Yeah. So basically, what Lady Jessica undergoes is a sacred rite for the Fremen sacred mothers. I forget the actual Fremen name for them. It's escaping me right now. But essentially, what she does is she drinks what's called the water of life, right? And it's essentially this fluid made from the dying death throes of baby sandworms, right? And so they basically take this fluid, and then she drinks it, which is essentially she's giving herself poison. And through this ceremony, using her Bene Gesserit training, she is supposed to use her body to transmute the poison into something non-lethal, which is that kind of gives you a sense of the Bene Gesserit mind and body link and like the power that they have, right? Now, the thing, Nick, should I talk about the other complication that goes in
Universe
this
is
ceremony?
the limit.
All right, so now
You said
while
that last
Lady
time we
Jessica-
started talking about.
I know.
Now, what?
Arrakis.
This is still
Arrakis
about
is-
spice.
is
This
the
is
limit.
still about. This is still about spice. So we're going to be on target.
Perfect.
Here. So while Lady Jessica is transmuting this poison, which is highly concentrated with spice, it's ridiculous, right? She's also pregnant, and you're not supposed to be pregnant when you do this, because she is pregnant with Paul's sister, Alia. And Alia also undergoes that as a fetus, which is intense. So Alia is able to also transmute it. I can't remember if Alia transmutes it or if it's Lady Jessica transmutes it for her. But basically, Alia in the womb trips balls. It's like it's kind of no like she also has access. She also has access to like all potential. She actually has all access to all, I believe, all female memories of humanity ever, which is amazing. Like, it's great.
Full on Avatar state.
Yeah.
Reverend Mother or whatever it was called for the Fremen. Like, it's, I forgot, are they hooked up in some way? Because I feel like it's like her consciousness joined Lady Jessica's, and because the sister was in there, and through them it sounds like that's a process that keeps happening. So through them it's like they picked up the whole history through that.
Right. It's like an osmosis of what they call race memory, like human race memory in the book, right? Yeah.
Again, stuff that would be hard to do in a movie. That's why I think there would be a good chance they would not do that. It was right at the end of book one. So for them to consciously skip that, either that was too big of an odd beat to end the movie on, or they're like, you know what, we're just going to jump 4 years forward or 3 years forward. And, you know, the actors will have aged that amount as well. And we're just going to pick up and just maybe through dialogue, we'll get the idea.
Yeah. It's very interesting you said that though, John, because on TikTok, a lot of our comments have been like, this movie's not going enough into the lore. And there was a lot of people mad about like how the original movie was deeper into the books than this one. And this is more surface level, and the readers wanted more than what they got. That's what I kind of got from the comments.
That's right.
Well, I mean, you've gone far beyond this, but do you think if they would have catered to all the book readers, this would have had too hard of a time?
You can't cater to you can't cater to all the book readers. That's impossible. It's
Maybe it should.
I would okay. All right. So I would say, like, as much as I, you know, want them to do this, right? Like, and I agree with a lot of our viewers on TikTok, right, that they're not pushing far enough. At the end of the day, this movie is still someone else's interpretation. It's not theirs, right? And at the end of the day, when you go into the theater, that's what you should be thinking about, right? Is that like, look, it's not going to get everything right? Yeah, and that's fine. That's
100% true. It even happened with Game of Thrones. How many characters did they leave out? How many characters did they have to morph into to like 2 characters? How many storylines did they have to scrap? And we were still like, we want more. Like, we'll never be satisfied with the amount of content that we receive.
If it's good content. If it's not, sometimes things should be ended before they get to that point.
Back on the Spice train. Here we go. Actually, I think that was a good brief covering of Spice. If you want us to go into more detail and like future world destroying spoiler stuff that Kyle was talking about, let us know. And we talked about a lot of other topics we thought about covering, but if you have any other ideas for topics for us to cover in Dune, Kyle and John are book readers. I'm still halfway through the book. I haven't found time to get around to the rest of the book.
Can we just?
I will by the next movie.
Can we just do
you.
a Dune like a Dune spoilers uncaged episode? Just like
we should just do a Dune spoilers uncaged podcast and just like strictly Dune. Like you have to have Spice to get in. So
got to be carrying that melange.
All right, guys. So let us know if you would have liked in this first Dune movie for them to go into more lore, or do you feel the amount of spice we got, the amount of other things that we got was just enough and just fine? Always better to leave you wanting more than to give you too much. Check out AsArt for the audio and video links, and we will see you on the next AsArt.